If you would like more videos like this, consider joining my online library. It's only $15.99 per month, and you can cancel at any time. Here you'll get weekly uploads of new videos around pain management yoga, restorative yoga, Ashtanga yoga, chakra yoga, all sorts. So head to www.yogatraveleronline/membership to join. Yoga has a million benefits, but when you are new to yoga and perhaps you're coming off of an injury, you've got some concerns, some fears about how yoga will affect your body, it can be a little scary. So you want to know what some precautions are and how you might be able to modify the yoga poses. Then this video is for you. Keep watching. Let's go through all of the different kinds of yoga poses and how we might be able to modify them for our precautions. Starting with the standing poses. Standing poses like Warrior 2, Trikonasana, Warrior 1. These poses are strong in the body. They help strengthen the muscles. They stimulate digestion. They help us to feel grounded and rooted, but only if we have strong ankles. So if we are doing a Warrior 2, moving on to Parsvakonasana, and we start to get wobbly, how might we modify it? Simply place an elbow on the thigh and extend. Maybe even that is too much for us and we need to have some physical balance. So you grab a handy chair. You can do a Warrior 2 pose on a chair. Easy as this, and then you don't have to worry about feeling out of balance. And you can build hip strength and open up inner thigh, get some good stretch. Moving into Parsvakonasana, Warrior 2, and Warrior 1. Warrior 1 would look something like this. Can be done on a chair for balance support. The most important thing to note when doing balance poses, standing poses in any condition, is to have a firm control of being rooted on the floor, having a feeling of your toes, your ankles, your knees engaged, all the muscles engaged, so that you can build a strength while being supported from the ground up. Forward bending poses. Forward bending poses are great to stretch out hamstrings, hips, and low back on the way down. They're really wonderful for digestion. As we squeeze through the center, we squeeze everything there. When we lift up, it rejuvenates. So lots of good benefits all throughout the back region of our body. They're great for anxiety and depression as we fold forward, bring a little blood flow into the head. Once we lift back up, there's this natural release of blood flow, a little release of energy. But they are not great for a couple of conditions. First being pregnancy. Folding forward, if you can imagine, with your legs together is going to put a lot of pressure on your center, and there's a baby there. So when you do forward bends, you're always going to widen at least hip width distance, even more if it feels better. That will give you more room for breath and more room for the baby. Don't squeeze it yet. Wait till the baby comes out. Also, some of us might have issues with sciatica. So as we're folding forward, it's putting a lot of pressure on those hamstrings. Yes, we want them to stretch out, but we might have to do it gradually. So we might take an approach where we bend our knees just a little bit, relax the back first, and then gradually start to straighten out the knees. As that inflammation leaves the sciatica, the more we work on strengthening there. So beware of some of those issues. Also, the last one is menstruation. Kind of same issue as pregnancy. We're folding, we're putting pressure right in this sensitive area. So maybe during menstruating times, you would fold with a wider gait. Some women choose not to practice at all during menstruation. That's a choice that you can make. Those are some things to be aware of with forward bends. Twists. Twists are wonderful for the spine, great to stimulate digestion. It moves your entire back, starting at the base of the spine and rolling all the way up into the neck and the upper back. So So twists can be rejuvenating for the entire spine, which is great for the nervous system. But there are some definite precautions that need to be taken when doing twisting. If you have herniated disc issues along your back or areas of your spine that have been replaced, you might not be able to twist in a full range of motion. Twisting on the floor, seated, is the most intense kind of twisting. So standing twists, something like a Pravita Trikonasana, is not quite as intense. Also, twists where you lay on your back and perhaps let the legs fall from side to side is not quite as intense. So you have to know what you're working with when you get into twists. Another big precaution is pregnancy in twisting. We're going to have the same problem of the baby being in the way. So instead of twisting toward your leg, you're always going to twist open. See how much room I have for my baby, for my stomach that is there. You'll still get really great benefits along your spine and in your hips, but you won't be squeezing your breath flow or squeezing the baby. Also, just picture what it feels like after you've eaten a full meal and you're going to do a yoga twist. Wow, heartburn maybe as we turn toward our leg. So how about twisting open, giving a little space for digestion? Eating right before yoga is just in general a caution. It might cause issues in forward bends as well. So timing might be needed for some of these practices. Back bends. Back bends strengthen the arms, the back of the body, the glutes, the hamstrings, the low back. They open up the heart in the front of the body and make more room in your chest. And they are the opposite pose of forward bends. We forward bend, we lengthen, we back bend, and we squeeze. So in that way, you're making your body equal. Lengthening muscles, squeezing muscles. So they're a good balance for our body. But there are some precautions that we need to take. Shoulder injuries, you have to be careful in back bends. Things like herniated discs, again, because you're compressing the spine. And pregnancy in the last trimester, the third trimester, where the baby is getting quite large, can put some pressure on the spine. So what might we do to adjust back bends? First of all, is to be very aware of your body. And if you are experiencing intense pain, that means stop. Don't continue. Come down and breathe and figure out something different to do. Some options might be utilizing a block. So say we're on our floor, on our back, and we're trying to do a back bend, but there's a lot of pressure from spinal surgery, pregnancy. A block might help you out. You can put the block underneath your hips. It will lift your body, and you don't have to do so much of the work. So you can still get the benefits and the stretch in the front of the body, but your back body does not have to grip so hard to hold you up. And also, this is relieving all pressure from shoulders. So say you have had a shoulder injury, shoulder surgery, using a block to do a back bend allows the shoulders just to rest and be there while the rest of the body is getting a little bit of a stretch, a little bit of a stimulation. The block can be adjusted to all different heights. Here's the lowest. I was on the middle just now. You could encourage yourself to go even higher if you so choose. This is definitely a way to relieve some pressure from the back, but also get the benefits of a back bend. So the key is to always listen to your body, know what some of your physical limitations are before you go into it. So you might anticipate ways that you could change the yoga pose to make it beneficial, but avoid further injury. Balancing poses. Balancing poses can be very tricky, but wonderful for opening up the hips, in this case of Vrikasana, strengthening your ankles, your standing leg, your hip, your abdominals, and your focus. But sometimes there are some major precautions that need to be made when doing balancing poses. The first being if you have any ankle weaknesses or you're recovering from a leg injury, you'll want to build up the strength in the ankles first before giving your whole weight onto that side. So you might take your hand onto the back of a chair, onto a table or something, so that you're still working on strengthening the muscles, but you've got some support with your hand on a chair. Balancing does get easier the more you practice it as you build up ankle strength and core strength and help to align your focus. Let's talk about inversions. Inversions are a wonderful practice that you can do to bring blood flow into the head and the heart, get a little bit more courage, and build up a lot of upper body and core strength. They can be scary, absolutely, and that is one of the precautions. If you get up and you have fear that you're going to fall, you might lose your focus and your control. So, what can we do to help with an inversion? One of the main things you could do is grab a partner. Have the partner help you lift your legs up into the air and hold you there so that you can find your balance in the air. You might do it up against a wall, putting the head on the ground and lifting the legs up to the wall to feel that support behind you. Just beware that you'll want to move away from the wall eventually, so build up that strength as best as you can. Remember that inversions are simply that the head is below the heart. So downward facing dog is an inversion. My head is below my heart here. You might start by building a little strength, placing the elbows on the floor, feeling your hands in a grip, and then just start lifting up onto your knee, off of your knees. So here I'm putting all my weight on my elbows and my forearms, on my shoulders, and starting to build up some strength there in the upper body. And you might just press up and come down, slowly building up that strength. Chaturangas are a wonderful way to build strength in the upper body. So practice those chaturangas, my friend. Build up some strength there. Remember that you never have to do a yoga pose that feels wrong, that you're worried about, that you're concerned for. It is okay to skip it or to do something else entirely. Beware of doing inversions when you have a lot of sinus pressure. It might just be too much blood flow into the head. Beware of doing inversions when you're menstruating. There's already some blood loss going through the body, and flipping the blood upside down might cause a major imbalance in your body and might make you dizzy and have all sorts of other problems. So perhaps avoid them during menstruation. But they are a great practice to do if you can build up the strength and get there. There are a couple of gentle inversions that I would like to show you. The first, grab a block, lay on your back, almost like we did that bridge pose. We'll take the blocks right under that hip there on the lowest height and lift the legs to the sky. My head is below my heart. Not a lot, but enough so that there is a bit of head rush into my head. I do not have to worry about balancing at all because the block is doing the work for me. So this is a very gentle way to have an inversion without feeling scared of leaving the floor. From there, you might be able to encourage yourself and build up the strength to do a shoulder stand where you are feeling that lift through the body and a little bit more, and just supporting yourself with your hands. So we can always work into yoga poses, can't we? It just takes time and practice and some focus and patience as we listen to our breath. Thanks for hanging out with me during this yoga film, all about precautions and how you can avoid some pitfalls as you start into yoga. Remember that it is helpful to work with an experienced professional. So if you have a yoga teacher that you love, follow them. If you like this video, light up that follow button and you'll get more just like it. And you are always welcome to work with me. The link is in the bio, in the description of the video. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you soon. See you on your mat.